First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakadash. I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do well, that have taught me this truth. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect, unto the scattered elect that are scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, unto the true and sincere brothers that are out there prophesying and laboring in this truth and in this doctrine. Unto you I say shalom. Surveillance, data storage, and the MOTB system, all right? And I'm going to go into Palatar, what it means, and what it's going to bring here to Babylon, America, you Israelites, all right? So you can know what the hell is going on, because Esau's doing this right up under your nose, where, the average Jake don't know what the hell a Palatar is, okay? But the prophets are here to give you the warning, so when these things do come about, all right, you can take heed. You can, you understand that this devil is presenting this as something that's not good for you. Okay, the scripture says, "Never trust thy enemy," and this devil is using many crafty devices in these last days to try to persuade you to try to pretty much mold your minds into accepting this new world order system, this mark of the beast system. All right, and Palatar is a surveillance system, a surveillance platform company that Trump has just signed a deal with. That's exactly what they're going to do. Okay, the Esau's main objective, obviously, their end game is their MOTB, but what this system does, it fast tracks that the MOTB system. All right, it lets this devil know your every thoughts, your every moves. All right, your location at all times, what you're doing, who you're talking to, and a lot of people, all right, through Esau's devices, through it first began with MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, the Twitter, all these different social media platforms where people willfully gave this devil this information. They gave this devil all this data. Okay, so Esau pretty much knows 80%, probably 90% about your whole life. Or what you're into, what you like, where you go on vacation, all your family members, all the people you went to school. Esau knows everything. All right, but this Palatar is going to take it to a whole another level where they know everything at any given moment. Okay, where this devil has a God complex where he thinks he's the Most High. He thinks he, is all knowing, all seeing. All right, he knows what you're going to do before you do it, like the Most High. And the world is going to see that he's not like the Most High. Okay, because the Most High is going to bring him down to a low level where he belongs. All right, because he is the basis of men. All right, but to this world, he's a god. All right, through all this technology, through all this pseudoscience, through all these false miracles. Okay, but the Lord has set bounds that he cannot pass. This is Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So it's a certain level that Esau can't pass. All right, but he's reaching it. Esau's at his pinnacle. All right, and he's almost in his mind. He really thinks that he's going to fulfill this new world order. That he's going to get away with it. Okay. It says how Palatar is expanding the surveillance state. If you think the government will only use these tools to track illegal immigrants, think again. All right. So I think they're you got apparently ICE has been using this system since 2011. Okay, but I believe they're using the whole immigration thing as a test run. Okay, so how they can track down people, pinpoint their location, and they're using this as a test run. But this system is going to be implemented. All right, they're implementing this system. Okay, they already have a form of it in China. All right, and actually I bring an article right here because in China this system is already pretty much in place. All right, see these cameras. They have these cameras. Let's see. They have these cameras, these surveillance cameras everywhere, and these just ain't your average camera. These are smart cameras where they have facial recognition. They can they can pinpoint your location. Over in China, you can't get in you can't get damn near probably anywhere without some type of facial recognition or without some type of form of digital ID. You can't get into certain apartment buildings certain government buildings over there without your facial recognition. And that's what's going to come to America. You have a high crime problem. You ain't going to have that here no more. That the Esau is going to eliminate that with facial recognition through this MOTB system. And ultimately, the end game is to get everyone to ultimately conform to that system by putting that microchip in your body, in your hand, your right hand, anywhere in your body, and also the brain chip. All right, which Esau has been formulating that brain chip technology for a while. It's just being brought forth with this puppet Elon Musk through the Neuralink technology. Okay, so let me go back to this article. I'm not going to read all these articles, but I'm going to actually let me get the definition of palatar because I think it comes from Lord of the Rings. But it says the word comes from Quinya Palan, far and tier, watch over. All right, that's what Esau wants to do. He wants to watch over everything. He wants to know your finances. He wants to know, any and everything about you. All right, and truth be told, he has access to a lot of this information already. Okay, it says when people complain about big tech, they tend to mean companies like Meta, Google, and X. Entities provided free tools and platforms that we can choose whether to use. Much less attention is directed at the tech companies helping the federal government consolidate and analyze data for all of us. Companies like the data analytics firm Palatar, created by PayPal co-founder and Donald Trump supporter Peter Thiel. Or I'm going to read this next paragraph, then I'm going to jump down. Palatar has been connected to government surveillance. It was found in part with CIA money, and it has served as an immigration and custom enforcement contractor since 2011. It has been used for everything from local law enforcement to COVID-19 efforts. The prominence of Palatar tools in federal agencies seems to be growing under President Trump. All right, if you paid attention to Trump's inauguration, he had tech giants there. He had, of course, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, what's the Facebook guy? Zuckerberg, he was there. Let me look at the list. Hold on. It was damn, I had the list. It was some other let me see. Damn, I just had the list. But it was some other tech guys there that basically, they're there to, help bring forth this system, help bring forth this MOTB system. Okay? Let's see. So let me go back to the article. It said the prominence of Palatar tools in federal agencies seems to be growing under President Trump. The company has received more than $113 million in federal government spending since Mr. Trump took office, according to public records, including additional funds from existing contractors, as well as new contracts with the Department of Homeland Security and the Pentagon. And they're going to make this seem like they need this surveillance because we have a lot of migrants here, immigrants here, whatever you want to call them, here in the country. We don't know who's who. A lot of people have come through the borders during the Biden administration. So we need a new identification system to to make sure we're safe here in America. And they're going to use these talking points to make you feel that it's something you need. All right, that's Esau using those smooth words to entice you and ultimately to trick you. Okay, that's what Scripture says. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, and that's one of his devices. One of his main devices is deception, to deceive. Okay. It says, not noting that this figure does not include the $795 million contract that the Department of Defense awarded the company last week, which has not been spent. And they could throw all these numbers out there, but ultimately, this is being backed by the global elites. All right, the wicked elite. All right, they have. Palatar is going to get unlimited resources to implement this system into the government, into federal, local law enforcement. Okay, and that's what they're doing now. Okay, they're setting the stage for this system. Okay, they're building this system up. All right before our eyes. Or if you don't have eyes to see, the Lord didn't give you eyes to see, where you can see an article like this and be able to read between the lines, you're going to be right in line to get that chip when it comes. All right, creating detailed portraits of Americans based on government data is not just a pipe dream, notes the Time. Trump administration has already sought access to hundreds of data points on citizens and other government databases, including their bank accounts, the amount of their student debt, their medical claims, and any disability status. All right, so this goes all into that MOTB system, because the main point of the system, well, the main function of it is to buy and sell. So they go bank accounts, student debt, medical claims. They didn't say medical records. They said medical claims and any disability status. So that all ties into your money. All right. Washington has already had a ton of data on all of us, and it's been often separated across systems and agencies. By linking it all together, the government could create more detailed profiles on all of us. All right. So if you ain't got a Facebook, you ain't got an Instagram. Esau got their own Instagram and Facebook of you. They got their own profile of you. Each individual. They want to track each individual. That's why every 10 years they do the Census Bureau. This is the ultimate Census Bureau that Esau is going to track and label everyone. All right, and if you don't get down with this system, eventually it's going to come a point where that, of course, that hour of temptation is going to come where Esau is just going to pay off with you. You're not a part of the system. Okay, you can't eat, you can't enjoy this, you can't have this. All right, and everything in your life is going to be tied to this system. Your job, all right. Of course, they said your bank account. All right, different activities and things you like to do. All right, it's going to be tied to this system. All right, it says no previous data systems have ever centralized this much personal info across various federal agencies. Jason Bassler, a Free Thought Project, posted on X. Let me see. Tracking immigration. Of course, they use it to track immigration, but like I said, it's probably a test run just to see, to test it out. It says tracking American citizens. All right, so the average American citizen think like, I'm good. I'm not an immigrant. I was born in this country. I was born here. Well, why do they need to track me? They're going to track everyone. It says even if surveilling American citizens is not necessarily the end game, collecting data of the sort required by these immigration enforcement systems inevitably tracks Americans. The ICM includes data from various police departments, financial institutions, and federal agencies, including information pulled on drivers. Some of it was complied because people were charged with crimes, but some of it not. And it doesn't just include information on immigration, legal or illegal. So it don't matter. Everyone's gonna conform to this system eventually. All right, but you're gonna have to, it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna have to draw the line. All right, yeah, we're gonna have to probably have some type of form of digital ID. All right, we're gonna have to use some type of form of digital currency. But when it comes to putting that mark in you, that's when you got to draw the line. And if you're not going to be able to draw that line, if you're not spiritually in tune with the spirit of Yahawashi, all right, you just can't say, oh, okay, I want to follow the Lord now. I want to call upon the Lord now when it's your time of trouble, when the hour of temptation comes. If you ain't been practicing faith, how you going to use faith when you need it the most? All right. It says, actually, I ain't going to read it. Let me go to the next one. AI is becoming a big part of that also. All right. It says, Inside Palantir, Profit, Power, and the Kill Machine. All right. It was one point in here where, because you got a lot of software engineers that work for this company, and they're eventually going to be replaced by AI. All right, AI is going to, because they go in there, these software engineers, they go in and they make these programs, but ChatGPT AI learns the program, and they don't need them anymore. That's why there's a lot of tech jobs that are open right now, or a lot of tech, not jobs that are open. A lot of tech professionals are out of work right now. Okay, let me read a little bit of this. It's one of our. Let me see. I'll read this part. I'm gonna jump down. One of the most defining images of Trump's second inauguration was the tech overlords filing to declare their alliance. Perhaps this lineup was a demonstration that the wield great powers too. In contrast to the loud presence of Zuckerberg, Musk, Pichai, and Bezos, there were a few notable figures who were absent from these festivities, but are no less significant. Peter Thiel and Alex Karp. Thiel, Karp, and their data and analytics company Palantir have managed to fly under the radar a long time, whilst pulling strings in Washington and playing a significant role in propelling Trump to a second presidency. All right, so let me see. Let me jump down because this is pretty much saying the same thing, but let me see. Here we go. They're asking this guy right here, Juan. I forgot his last name. But it says, he highlighted this. I know I used to spend a lot of time drawing up kill chain diagrams, which involve all of the information that gets collected by drone systems, distributed ground operation systems, and satellites, which is used to target and execute individuals in warfare. I drew up these diagrams and how the information is shared to make decisions about killing people. So this guy essentially made a program for warfare, but the same programs they're making for warfare, they're gonna use against the people. Okay, they're gonna use these drones, they're gonna use these dog robots. All right, all these are gonna be controlled by AI. All right, they're gonna formulate a specific algorithm to come against those that are against the state or that oppose this new world order. Okay, and it's all done by this same system right here. Let me see. Let me scroll down. And I see that some kind of arrangements happening in LA with the drones turning the city into a connected digital battle space. To see these technologies dangerous and very advanced tracking, surveillance, and reconnaissance execution technology so close to home is probably our biggest danger. All right, and you're going to have a lot, like I said, you're going to have a lot of whistleblowers that work for this company that probably leave the company because of what they're doing. But at the end of the day, Esau don't give a shit. All right, we'll find somebody else to do it. And at the end of the day, their job has pretty much already been done by the programs that were set in place while those certain specific employees were there. Let me go down to some other highlighted points. Yeah, I'll read this. And then boom, as soon as I saw the reaction on October 7th attacks, the aggression in which these technologies were used for more than a year in Gaza is scary, unprecedented. They were been tracking the people in Gaza through these technologies. That's when I started writing, seeing the images of UN facilities, schools, hospitals being annihilated by these technologies, which are supposed to be more humanitarian, more direct. The prolonging of the conflict for so long, the images of flattening, of Gaza, it was too much for me personally. All right, so they use these technologies in Gaza to do what they're doing. All right, I got one last article I want to get about China. It says China's homegrown tech boost global surveillance, social control repost. It says homegrown AI and cutting-edge technology is boosting internal surveillance by the ruling China's Communist Party and expanding its overseas influence and infiltration operations, and is already in use far beyond its borders, according to a recent report. It says China's recent advance in AI and big data, including a recently launched DeepSeek AI model, which will boost the government surveillance capabilities, including overseas, according to February 11th report from the Washington-based National Endowment for Democracy. It says China. Scroll down. China increasingly powerful AI surveillance system uses facial recognition and combined data streams to create sophisticated city brains that can track events in real time. Wrote report author Valentine Weber. So in real time, they know when a crime is being committed and who did the crime. All right. And they'll send the authorities over there, whether it be actual humans or robots, to apprehend them. Okay, this says these tools created persuasive surveillance dragnet that may be used by state authorities to quell protests before they start. All right, so that protest is a First Amendment right. They're going to quell that. You can't protest. Okay, this is where this world is coming to. All right, and you see they have the police that's using surveillance. They're not going to even need the police anymore. All right, because this police officer, whether they're the surveillance officer or whatever, what are they doing? They got to go home. They got to go to sleep. They get a pension. They got sick days. AI don't go home. AI doesn't call in sick. Okay, AI is not going to need no workers' comp or none of that. All right, and that's what, and eventually it's going to lead to a large increase in unemployment. All right, thus they're going to bring in the UBI. So a lot of things, a lot of pieces of the puzzle are coming together. All right, in Esau's New World Order. All right, push the people out, give the people UBI, make the people more dependent on the system. Okay, all right, make them dependent on the system. Introduce this chip. All right, that's attached to the system. All right, people won't be able to let go of the system. Therefore, they take the chip. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, this is all a part of Esau's setup, and this is just some of the few things I just named. Okay, but his end game is to get you to take that MOTB. All right, the country's advance in quantum computing suggests that it could one day render present-day encryption obsolete. The report found endangering anyone who dares to criticize Beijing. So you criticize the government, you pretty much through. They could take your money. All right, put you out of your house. All right, the same thing's going to happen here in Babylon, in America, whether you believe it or not. All right, whether you can receive it or not. Let me see. It says the report titled "Data-Centric Authoritarianism: How China's Development of Frontier Technology Could Globalize a Repression" warned that Beijing will also be on the forefront of exporting its tech-able authoritarian surveillance system. All right, the Chinese tech authoritarian system state can be traced back to 1998 Golden Shield Project, a nationwide plan to integrate digital surveillance, also encompassing the censorship system that came to be known as the Great Firewall. The report said. So Esau did come up with this technology. They talking about this shit in 1998. All right, Esau has been planning this for 100 years. Okay, it's just they now hundreds of years, thousands of years. Just now they have the resources to ultimately fulfill their heart's desires. All right, it said the wicked boasts of his heart desire. All right, their heart's desire is to, could rule forever. Okay, as it says in what is that? Psalms. It ain't 55. It was 49. Psalms 49. That's Esau's endgame. They want to rule forever. 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name. So Esau wants to rule forever. All right, he wants to be, run this world, this wicked world, and rule forever. But that's not going to take place. All right, as I read, the Lord Esau is going to reach his bounds, or he can't pass. All right, we're at the end of Esau's world. All right, and part of his end is them, pushing this MOTB, pushing this system fast forward. Okay, this is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. This devil does not have a lot of time. All right, they see the prophecies coming to pass. They see the power that the Israelites through the word have. All right, so they got to come down with great wrath. They got to move swiftly with their plans. All right, so a lot of things that have been taking place in the past, the beginning of this year. All right, previously it would have took Esau 10 years to do. All right, so things are moving fast. Things are moving at a rapid pace, whether you believe it or not, whether you can see it, whether the Lord gave you eyes to see or not. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Real quick, I think I quoted this. Lest Satan get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we see This is a part of Esau's devices, Palantir, okay? AI, all right? AI is just on a whole nother level now, all right? You don't know what's real and what's not. It's nothing real anymore, nothing authentic. The food ain't authentic, okay? Everything is going to, made by a damn computer, all right? Made by a machine, okay? And that's how Esau wants it. Esau doesn't want anything to be real, okay? But in these last days, Esau is being revealed. Esau is because at the end of the day, through process of elimination, who has the technology, who has the resources to pull off some shit like this? Okay, the devil, Esau. All right, that's the only one. And like I said, Esau hasn't been. Esau just didn't just come up with this. All right, just thought about this after COVID and said, oh, you know what we should do? Like, no, Esau's been planning this. This is the secret counsel of the wicked. Psalms 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? All right, the prophets, through the spirit of Yahawashi, we see them, and we're giving warning unto our people, unto the elect. All right, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. They both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. All right. So Esau has been planning this. They do a diligent search. They put millions, billions of dollars into this technology, into this research on how they can fulfill this new world order and track everyone. All right, and track everyone, and that's what pretty much the end game. Track everyone. All right, and they pretty much through their surveillance, they're molding the people into the perfect new world order citizen. All right, and you go to work, or if you have a job. All right, you're basically programmed to do this and not do this, to think this way and not think this way. All right, that's how they want you. Esau wants loyal robots, or pretty much and if you don't get down with his system, hey, you're gonna be dismissed. You're gonna be cut off from the system. And ultimately you could possibly be killed. All right. Let me see. Let me grab this Ezekiel 28, because you have to understand that Esau is just a man. All right, he's gonna through his technology, he's gonna present himself as a god, but he's just a man. This is Ezekiel chapter 28:1. The word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, say to the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up. And the prince of Tyrus today represents Esau. All right, the wise men of Esau. And thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of the Most High, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not a God, though thou set thy heart as the heart of the Most High. All right, you're you're just a man. All right, you're flesh and blood. Okay, and you're the lowest of the low. You're the base man. All right, but the Most High, He setteth up kings and put it down another, as the scripture says in Psalms. So Esau, the Most High lifted up Esau to with pride to make himself as a god. All right, so the non-believers, all right, the non-elect could that would be a stumbling block unto them, Esau. All right, so they could see this man as a god, and pretty much condemn themselves. All right, to get themselves judged. All right, but the Lord said, the scripture says, yet thou art a man and not a God, though thou set thy heart as the heart of the Most High. All right, in this devil's mind, he feels like he's a God. All right, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, left hand understanding, all right, left hand wickedness, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. And and thy great wisdom, and by traffic thou hast increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. So great deception, all right, great, left hand wickedness, thou hast, and by traffic, all right, trafficking of Israelites, thou hast increased thy riches. All right, it says that in here in the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, we're seeing this translation. Okay, but Esau's gonna, he's almost at his pinnacle right now, where he feels he can't be touched. Okay, where he has this great technology, this great, he's deceived the nations, and even though he's being revealed at the same time, but he's deceiving a lot of people out there to believe that this man is, like I said, he's a god. All right, I got a few more scriptures I want to get. Yeah, 2 Thessalonians 2, and I'm gonna start at 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, that day shall not come except their coming falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, Esau. He's got to be revealed. All right. The world's gonna know who's behind the puppet pulling all the strings. All right, and all these puppets are these presidents, these so-called world leaders. All right, Esau's the wicked. All right, the real wicked. Even though he's got lower level Edomites, but the real wicked is behind the scenes pulling all the strings. All right, but they're going to be revealed. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is a God. All right, he put himself in that place that he's a God. All right, He has no, he has no humility. He has no faith. He's just a proud, low level, base devil. Okay? Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. All right, we're in his time. All right, we're at the end of Esau's short season where he would rule. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming. The wicked is being revealed, and he's being consumed right now with truth. The spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets. Okay, this truth is consuming him. This truth is destroying him. This truth is revealing him. Okay, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. Those are those pseudo miracles Esau is going to do in these last days through shit like Project Bluebeam, all kind of left hand witchcraft, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusions that they should believe a lie. All right, so these are a lot of strong delusions that Esau is going to send, that the Most High is going to send amongst our people. All right, that they're going to believe that this man is all powerful, that he can't be touched, that he can't be brought down. Okay, it's going to seem like that because, when Esau really lets loose, all right, he's going to have the world in fear. All right, but we fear Yahawashi. All right, the elect is not going to be the Lord that give the elect the spirit of fear. All right, we fear the Heavenly Father. We fear the Creator. We don't fear man. Okay. One last scripture I want to get to tie it all in. What it all boils down to is Revelation 13 and I'll start at 11. And behold, another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. All right, the two horns represent the bipartisan system, the Republican and Democrat, which you had in the ancient world and ancient Rome, where the patricians and the publicans, yeah. All right, and that same system is reincarnated today. That beast coming out of the earth is Babylon, And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And after that 1,000 years Esau was put down, all right, he speaks of this in Revelations, the 20th chapter, that deadly wound, he was healed. He came back for a short season. All right, I'm gonna get it real quick just to show. Said he would come out and deceive the nations. It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, or actually, verse 2. And he laid hold the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. That was that 1,000 years the devil was bound. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should not deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years be fulfilled, and all that he must, and after that he must be loosened a little season. And we're in that time of that little season, all right, where his deadly wound was healed. Okay, back to verse 13 in the 13th chapter. And he doeth great wonders, in that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Okay, and he done great wonders. All right, making put the world in fear through when he dropped the atomic bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Okay, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. The world has been deceived by these left-hand miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image of the beast which had the wound by the sword, and did live. All right, and Esau has been formulating that image through their democracy, through this whole technocracy, through AI, through LGBTQ, through one world government, one world currency, one world medicine. All these are a formulation of that image of the beast that Esau is bringing forth, or they're presenting to the world as a good thing. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And there's going to be those that are going to be literally killed, but this is really talking about you're going to be X out of the system. All right, you won't be able to chill. Main thing, buy and sell. You won't be able to go into certain stores. All right, you won't be able to, you won't be able to go into any stores. You probably won't be able to drive down the street. You won't be able to do anything without that. Of course, I was going to say it without that mark. Verse 16. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That's that MOTB. All right, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Buying and selling. Okay, that's the main thing you're going to use it for, but it's going to be used for multiple uses. Okay, but this Palantir system is the beginning of that. Okay, that's the that's the what do you call it? You can say that's one of the main devices that Esau is going to use to bring forth this system, to bring forth this AI global surveillance system, which ties right into the MOTB. All right, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the hopeful elect, and I would like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakodash, Shalom.